Hey guys, welcome to What Wears Watchin', the series where I go over whatever show, movie, comic, manga, game, whatever it is that I'm currently taking in, I discuss my thoughts on it, and I let you know whether or not you should watch it and why. So this week, I'll be talking about the newest entry into the MCU, Captain Marvel. So I'll start with a non-spoiler type of review, and then I'll give my spoiler thoughts afterwards. Okay? First up, everybody who was afraid this movie would be a super political propaganda piece, they were dead wrong. I don't know why you wouldn't just trust Marvel at this point, but some people really got up in arms about some of the comments made by Brie Larson. See, I understand if you don't want partisan politics in your superhero movies. I know I don't. But nobody gets upset when Chris Evans talks about how he hates Trump. We don't expect Captain America to nod and wink at the camera and say, I'm voting Democrat. So I don't know why people thought this movie would suddenly take a huge departure from the good superhero movies we've been getting all this time. Well, all the politics aside, what did I think of this movie? Well, to be honest, it was great. Like, seriously, it was a lot of fun. I really liked Carol Danvers, Nick Fury, and the villain Talos. I really liked him too. It was awesome to see a Marvel hero finally show abilities closer to those in the comics. Captain Marvel was flying through space, punching through spaceships, and shooting laser beams all over the place. It's easy to see that she is the strongest Avenger, and I hope we get some of these feats from Thor and the other Avengers in Endgame as well. That's kind of what I want, everyone to get stronger. The whole story with the Kree versus the Skrulls was really interesting, and it was satisfying to learn about Carol's backstory as she also learned about her own backstory. The whole buddy cop dynamic between Carol and Nick Fury was a lot of fun too. In fact, Nick Fury was just a whole lot of fun himself in this movie. He's so vastly different than in all of his other MCU movies because he's not director of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. He's just Agent Fury, and he's so much fun that way. I will say that the film had sort of a slow start for me. It focuses on Carol and her team of Kree warriors. I only really got invested once the story shifted to Earth and everything that was happening there. It definitely wasn't the best Marvel movie, but it certainly wasn't bad by any means. I would put it comfortably above some of the mid-tier movies like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange. I would definitely recommend you go see it if you're into Marvel movies, and I'd say it's good enough to watch even without the context of the greater MCU. So now I'll be shifting into spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, click off this video. Maybe go watch one of my other videos, like this one right here. Okay, so I loved the whole Kree Skrull inversion. I knew that the Kree were bad news for both from the Guardians of the Galaxy and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I assumed that Kree in this movie were going to be good. This was a twist that I genuinely did not see coming, even though I probably should have seen it coming. I really like what they did, how they humanized the Skrulls, and Talos was actually a really likable character. He was funny and relatable, and seeing him with his family was actually really endearing. Like, I didn't think they could make Skrull kids cute, but they did, and it was just really cool. Seeing Carol throw the nuke back into space at the other nukes was totally badass. And the whole scene where she tore through the Kree armada, that was iconic. That was, like, awesome. People were clapping and shouting because it was so cool. I think the little bits of quote-unquote girl power from this movie were good. It wasn't like a big in-your-face sort of thing. It wasn't like a feminist propaganda piece that people thought it would be. It had what I assume was a pretty realistic portrayal of sexism in the military around the 1990s, and it was hardly a focus of the film. It was just kind of realistic. I'd say the idea was more that Carol is strong because she's a human, not because she's a woman, and I really like that. I thought that was presented well. I also like that Carol gets her powers from the Tesseract. That's a good explanation for why she's so much stronger than the other Avengers. It's just like Scarlet Witch is the strongest Avenger because she gets her powers directly from the Mind Stone. So it would make sense that another character who is equally or more strong would get her power from an Infinity Stone as well. I gotta say though, Jan Rog was a pretty boring villain. I like the twist, the Kree are actually evil, but he didn't have very much character or charisma. There was one funny moment where he tried to square up against Carol at the end, and she just blasted him in the face, but that was more funny because of what Carol did, not because of anything he did. Oh, and of course, Goose was great. I don't really like that he scratched out Nick Fury's eye. I was hoping there'd be a more badass reason behind that, but oh well, it was still pretty funny. Everything Goose did was either adorable or funny. I really liked the introduction of him, and I hope either Goose is around or Chewie or some sort of Flurkin cat thing is around in future Captain Marvel stuff because I really liked him. Anyway, definitely go see Captain Marvel if you haven't already. It's a ton of fun. I have been Beware. This is What Wears Watchin'. Stay frosty.